Welcome research and study skills students. This short video will be explaining a little bit more about Patch 3, reflection and your development plan. It'll also be supported by an additional video to provide you more information about the development plan. The video will suit all students undertaking the programme from both early years and health and social care. So in terms of what we'll be covering, I'll be looking at the requirements of the patch, ways practically on how you can reflect and use it within your writing, reference to your development plan, as I mentioned there'll be an extra video on that, and how that can be incorporated in an overall structure. Obviously everything that I'll be going through with you today will be supported by class lectures, and it's for guidance purposes only, and you can obviously take any approach that you like to meet the requirements of the patch. So in terms of learning outcomes, there's two. Learning outcome 1, which is demonstrate an understanding of the key transferable skills required to support your learning in higher education and the workplace. And learning outcome 4, to prepare and outline personal development plan. And those two are combined into Patch 3. So the requirements of the patch are: using a reflective structure, write a reflective summary about the development of your transferable skills and include a personal development plan. You're going to consider the progress and impact of these skills, identify your strengths and weaknesses, and consider the impact of these for you both academically and professionally. You can include a C-SMART personal development plan, which will go in your appendix, and evaluate its potential effectiveness. You've been encouraged to write a reflective diary throughout the module, which will be a basis of your reflection, and really will help you in terms of seeing your journey. In terms of word count, it's going to be approximately 1200 words. Obviously there is flexibility within that. It's a reflective patch. All reflective work should be in the first person, unlike your other patches, so it's in the first person. Using formal language where you can, and the academic vocabulary that you've been developing. In terms of an overall structure, here's an idea. Again, it's guidance purposes only, and you can approach it how you like. You might benefit from explaining what transferable skills are to start with. A brief introduction with some examples of transferable skills. You might benefit from using the QAA subject benchmark statements for your degree programs. They're all on Moodle, usually near the top. Obviously you can use other books to support you and sources of reference to explain what transferable skills are. And once you've given some examples, a range of examples, then you can focus on probably 3 or 4 core transferable skills to reflect upon. And really this is about sharing your journey. Once you've reflected upon your journey in each of those areas, you'll probably come up with some ideas for further development, and you'll refer to these in your development plan with some actions, which will go in your appendix, and you can see the additional video to explain that more. So you've got your development plan, and within your written text you'll benefit from concluding how undertaking the further actions from this plan would support you moving forward as a student, both academically and professionally in the workplace. So reflection is going to be a running theme throughout all of your courses. Reflection is particularly important within practice to understand how effective our practice is, to understand what influences our practice, to understand the impact of our practice, and for us to understand and improve our practice. And really this is no different within this text. What we're getting you to do is reflect upon your own academic practice. And really for you to then, this will be a common thing for you to be thinking about how you can improve your own practice moving forward and your own studying techniques. So it's really a summary of your academic journey, a development over the past semester or semesters depending on what programme you're on, with a review of the transferable skills you've been developing. It will include a discussion of your strengths and areas identified for development, which will then form the basis of your development plan, which I've already mentioned. So some examples of transferable skills. You can see the list is really quite immense actually, and you've done absolutely brilliantly at approaching these across your first year at UCC. So we've got organisational skills, time management, independent learning, resilience, mindset, note-taking, reading, applying referencing conventions, using your Harvard referencing, accessing, understanding and applying research, which is what you've been looking at in the last two patches specifically, academic thinking, academic writing. You'll look at different books and you'll find lots of other transferable skills as well, but these are the ones that I've focused on with you over the module. So once you've chosen a few of those areas that you want to discuss, you could probably start looking at your starting point, where you've come from. Did you have those skills in place before you started here? Were you fairly confident with those skills? And then look at your development over the semester and explain some questions in a moment to help you discuss that more. Identify whether there's strengths or weaknesses, and whether or not there's any further development required. So here's some reflective questions you could use. You can obviously use any questions that you want. These are to help focus your analysis and evaluation, and you work on these well. It will enable you to do well in terms of analysis and evaluation. So as I mentioned, a brief background to the skills that you're discussing. Brief description of what you've tried. This is really important. I really want to see how you've developed, what you've tried from what you've learned in class. It hasn't got to be from what you've just tried in mine, but also all of your other modules and lectures as well. What's your experience been? Has it been good, bad, indifferent? How's it helped you? What's influenced your experiences? What challenges have you had? What are the reasons behind your experiences? And what's the impact been for you academically and professionally on the development of these skills? How's it made you feel? Gibbs reflective cycle places heavy emphasis on your feelings as well. How do you think they're going to help you in the workplace, these skills, to ensure that we've covered off transferable skills? How effective have you been? How good are you at this? Or how can it be improved? What could you have done differently? And how will it help you in the future? And then once you've identified what you'd like to do differently, then you'll start thinking about what actions you'd like to take forward and record those in a personal development plan. Now, throughout this, you'll be using your own experiences, reflecting back using your reflective diaries to help you with this. But you also need to make sense of your experiences by applying theory, as it obviously is an academic course. So to help you here, you might want to use theory to help explain why the skill is transferable, for example. Get some sources of reference. Get some additional sources of reference to say why it's an important skill. You might want to look at your own experiences and see if they're similar to those experiences that you've read about. Did you find that your experiences have been different to what you've read about? So if, for example, you were looking at Cornell notes, and you've got some tips about Cornell notes, did they work for you? Didn't they work for you? You're going to be looking at areas of further development, and really those areas of further development, those actions associated with them, should really be driven by research. So if you know that you need to improve your note-taking, for example, what do other books or sources of reference have to say about how you can develop your note-taking? Don't forget you can use multiple references to support your understanding. So if you've got sort of 2, even 3, I'd probably say that's the maximum, theorists or books or sources of reference that all say the same thing, why not use those in a multiple reference? So you're going to create a C-SMART development plan. The C is for challenging. That's kind of added into newer development plans. I'm going to talk about these in a little bit more detail on a further video, but really what should be happening is the areas that you've identified as an area for further development, perhaps a weakness or just an area you just want to work on a little bit more, those areas that you've discussed will then go directly into your development plan. And you should reflect upon how you think that the development plan will help you moving forward into your next semester, whether that's semester 2 or into your second year. So that's really where you want to finish your piece of writing. You might include an appendix, and there's a couple of ways of writing this. If you notice right at the bottom here, you could refer to your appendix using brackets, or if you want to use the X2 button on the top of your ribbon on Word, that allows you to write appendix in smaller letters and just bring it forward a little bit. Ideas of what you can put in your development plan, in your appendix, include your development plan. You might put copies of your time planners, photos of your notes, photos of your workspace, and extracts of your reflective diary. It's going to be really personal, and we can talk about that a little bit more in class. And really, there you have it. That is Patch 3. And I wish you all the success in the world for that. Thank you for listening.